In this video, I discuss 10 reasons why waiting to collect Social Security could backfire. Coming up next on Holy Schmidt.
Holy Schmidt!
Conventional wisdom says that the longer you wait to collect Social Security, the better off it is for you mathematically. Waiting to age 70 to collect Social Security has been espoused by many a retiree, and for good reason. If you wait to collect Social Security, the outsized increases are massive, and they definitely improve the quality of life of the recipient, at least once the payments are underway. Medical technology suggests that many of the people watching this video right now could live to be 90, 95, even 100, something that would have been unheard of a generation earlier. And the cost of basic living in the later years of retirement is higher, maybe even significantly higher than in the earlier years, primarily due to the cost of health-related issues, medical costs, health insurance, etc. And most importantly, the math suggests that waiting is a good idea. At age 62, the table suggests that most people will live to age 82. But of course, those are just averages. Some will live longer, some will live shorter. And to be super clear, the argument that somebody knows someone who died waiting to collect a larger Social Security check doesn't mean that that's the right decision for everyone. You should have a logical reason for drawing early, and it usually doesn't include I'm due, my friends are all doing it, or it seems like a good idea. But there are many good logical reasons not to wait, and in the video ahead I'm going to discuss 10 reasons that might apply to you. Stick around to the end because number 10 is one that is discussed often, but most of the time it only applies to a very, very small sliver of people. But it shouldn't be ignored. All right, let's get into it. Number one, ignoring the higher income earner problem. Oftentimes, it makes sense to have one of the two spouses collect early so that the higher income earner can collect later. There are times when a spouse stops working and waits to draw Social Security so that they can have a higher benefit. But oftentimes, the higher income earner can't support both themselves and their partner and is forced to take Social Security early. In this scenario, it may be wise for the lower income earner to take Social Security so that the higher income earner can delay taking Social Security. The second backfire point is waiting to collect Social Security until you're beyond the years where you can really enjoy being young with Social Security. In retirement, there are some things that you can see right away and others that you can only see in the rearview mirror. Missing out on the point in your retirement life where you have energy, enthusiasm, the right family situation, etc., often happens when people wait to draw Social Security. Many people take a different vacation at age 70 from the one they would take at age 62. At age 62, you're a young retiree. At age 70, you may be entering a different zip code. That doesn't mean you won't have the youthful energy that you had at age 62, but it doesn't mean you will either. Point number 3 is missing out on an early retirement opportunity. Oftentimes, we have the ability to retire early and enjoy many more years in retirement, but we choose not to do it because we're trying to maximize every dollar. There are two assets, actually multiple assets, but there are two primary assets when you go into retirement. It's your funds, of course, that's what we're talking about now, but it's also the amount of years you have ahead. Not understanding that the years ahead are, in fact, an asset is one of the biggest mistakes that people make. Some people want to retire as early as possible. This is the basis for some of the middle-age retirement movements that you see out there. If this is you, if the asset of time is more important to you than the asset of finances, you need to make sure that you strike the right balance. Number 4 is that you trust the tables, and the tables are wrong for you. The break-even point for taking Social Security at age 62 versus taking it at full retirement age is 78. That's where the intersection of the money happens. And if you wait until age 70, that intersection is about age 81 or 82. If you're in poor health and aren't reasonably sure that you're going to hit those intersections, it may make sense to take your Social Security early. Point number 5 is that you're giving up too much to wait. You can't even pay the bills. For some Americans, taking Social Security is not a lifestyle choice, it's just a practical one. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this other than to say that if this is you, it probably will jump out at you. Point number 6 is to draw on credit card debt to prolong the point you draw Social Security. If you need to incur a lot of high interest debt to prolong drawing Social Security, or you already have high interest debt, but you can't pay that credit card down, then waiting may be not a great move. One word of caution though, if you draw your Social Security early and you use the funds for something other than credit card debt, well, that sort of defeats the purpose. You need to be disciplined about this if you're going to draw funds early to pay off your debt. Also, make sure you understand the magnitude here. If you're going to have only a few $1,000s of credit card debt, well, it might not make sense to lock in a big portion of your retirement income. For many people, it's about 40%, just so that you don't have $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 worth of credit card debt, depending on your situation. This strategy is only meaningful if it puts a dent in a big debt balance or prohibits you from incurring a big debt balance. Backfire number 7, waiting to draw your own Social Security if your higher earning spouse is unwell and you'll eventually end up with their Social Security anyway. If you expect to draw the survivor benefit relatively soon and your partner has a bigger benefit than yours, it doesn't make a lot of sense for you to wait to draw yours, because ultimately you'll be giving yours up anyway. Point number 8 is not understanding how the primary benefit and the spousal benefit work together when your spouse is both older than you and a lower earner than you. The age rules around the spousal benefit look a lot like the age rules around the primary insured's benefit. The older the spouse, the higher the number, up to age 67 in most cases. This means that if your spouse is older than you, their payment could in fact be large enough to incentivize you to file earlier. You have to look at the relationship in totality. Point number 9 is not understanding the value of unlocking your benefit so that your minor disabled child can unlock their benefit. Point number 10, if you are an investment professional and don't take the time to understand whether drawing early and using those funds to finance more investments or drawing later and foregoing the opportunity makes sense, well, you may be leaving money on the table. I will say that this is a very specific scenario and most people are not investment professionals. In fact, most investment professionals can't outperform the S&P 500 index. There's a very specific set of circumstances where this actually works. And this is a good place to insert the statement, past performance is not indicative of future results. Sometimes you just hit the market at the right time. In fact, over the last few years, many people would think that they're investment professionals. In other words, unless you know why you outperformed and how to repeat it again and again and again, be very careful on this point. If you like this video and you'd like to see more of me, please make sure you click subscribe and turn on notifications so that you get alerted the next time I post a video. I post 2 to 3 times a week. This is Jeff Schmidt. Thanks for watching.